Cast. We're spreading the ideas of freedom and liberty from the front porch, one episode at a time. Front Porch Anarchast. Freedom starts on your own front porch. And this episode starts now.
I heartily accept the motto that government is best which governs least. Carried out, it finally amounts to this, which also I believe, that government is best which governs not at all.
Are you ready for what I'm going to call Richard's road rant? As you can tell, this is a rant. I'm on the road. My name is Richard. It's very self-explanatory, much like my kids calling the rabbit Super Chewer or calling the stuffed animal Unicorny. Yes, very aptly named. Sorry about that long dramatic pause there, but there was a road pirate sitting on the side of the road. Guess he was clocking people as we came through a very long straight stretch. Undoubtedly for our safety. I doubt very seriously that it had anything to do with revenue. Although I did see a road pirate sitting in the exact same spot about 10 hours ago. And I saw another road pirate just on down the road here a little way. Maybe we'll see him sitting out there again. They ought to get a lot of revenue. I think that's the politically correct term for that. But anyway, back to Richard's road rant. And in this episode, it's the very first one. This is the inaugural Richard's road rant. And I've picked a headline that I saw from some news station's Facebook page or something. They posted a link to an article, and the headline went something like this. I can't look at it while I'm going down the road. Obviously, that wouldn't be too safe. Whether or not the road pirate would be able to see me, it still wouldn't be too safe, right, to be reading that while I'm driving down the road and trying to record a podcast. So you'll have to bear with me. But the headline for that article was something along the lines of police in Hollywood shoot and kill man with fake gun. All right, first of all, the first part of the rant is the headline sucked because it made it sound like the police shot and killed a man using a fake gun, which, of course, they didn't use a fake gun to shoot the guy. They used real guns. But, okay, that's kind of semantically nitpicky, right? So let them slide on that. Now, when they posted this article, the actual post said something about police officer involved shooting occurred on the Hollywood Walk of Fame or whatever that thing is. So you click into it, and basically all it tells you is that several people call the police reporting a man with a gun. Police show up, and they shoot and kill the guy who has the gun. Now, there is a picture from, I'm assuming from video, a still shot from video, of this guy holding what could be considered a gun and pointing it toward the police. I'm assuming it's a policeman who has his gun pointed at this guy as well. That was attached to the headline of the article. And okay, I'm going to throw this out there. The gun was, the gun that they show a picture of, it looks like a kid's, the blaster that Marvin the Martian used on Bugs Bunny. It looked like that, only the barrel was shorter and the thing was like brown or something. It was a crazy looking little gun. would I blame anybody if they considered it a real gun were somebody pointing it at them? No, I wouldn't, because, come on, I've seen enough guns to know that they take on many different shapes and sizes and layouts, so I'm not blaming them for that. Hindsight, didn't look like a real gun, but, I mean, I've seen them make real guns look like the Nintendo blasters, so anything can go. I'm not making the argument that the policemen shouldn't have shot this guy because the gun was fake. They had no idea it was fake. I get it. My problem is, who was the aggressor in this? Did this guy point his gun? Was he walking down the street and pulls a gun on somebody and threatens them in some way or robs them? You know, what was his purpose? What was he doing to get these people to call the police on him? These multiple people to call the police. Then, how did the police respond? Did the police show up and start pointing guns at this guy just because they saw that he had a gun? Did they shoot and kill this guy just because he had a gun? Was that what started this whole thing? Or was this guy actually doing something with the gun to provoke a deadly response? The beginning of a deadly response. Now, once he pointed the gun at these policemen, I realized that, you know, being policemen, they're going to shoot, and they don't even think about, hey, we showed up and pointed guns at him, you know. Okay, maybe we own this a little bit. I get that. He pointed the gun at them, but what caused this? And so, you know, decided to interact with some people who were also commenting on this post. And you would just not believe the amount of bootlickers that were responding to this. Actually, if you're listening to a podcast called Front Porch Anarchist, you probably would believe how many bootlickers there were responding. And most of them, I'll paraphrase, but most of them went on to say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, or point a gun at a cop and expect to get shot. And it was basically reiterations of that over and over and over. So I point out in my lonely little comment there that, you know, if this guy was the aggressor, if he was pointing his gun at peaceful people who were just going about their business, sure, fine, you know, okay, he got shot and killed. Don't like it. I don't advocate for the death of people being stupid, even when they're being stupid, but I can see that there are consequences to being an aggressor. So, you know, he gets shot and killed, that's fine. But if dude's just walking down the street and somebody sees this fake gun, again, it's not because it's fake. I should have just said, they see a man with a gun. They call the police because they see a man with a gun? Was that the only thing? You would think that if he was pointing it at people, they might have mentioned that in the article. It was very sparse on information, much like Front Porch Anarchist is. Very sparse on information, on specific information. So I don't know. Maybe he deserved to get shot. Maybe he didn't. Maybe these people who call the police on him, maybe they own some responsibility here. Maybe the police who responded, maybe they own some responsibility for escalating this. Maybe between the people who called the police escalating the situation, and maybe the police escalating the situation, maybe this guy shouldn't have been shot at all. I don't know. So anyway, that was the gist of my comment, right? If he was pointing a gun at peaceful people and he was shot and killed, then so be it. But if the police shot and killed this guy just because he had a gun, then there's a problem, right? And And then the police should suffer some consequences here as well. Well, as you can imagine, that did not go over well in a room full of bootlickers. And I'll start out with a response. It's the only actual name I can remember. But there was this guy who calls himself John B. Mullen on Facebook, who told me I had to be kidding because this guy pulled a gun on the cops and he got what was coming to him, basically. I'm paraphrasing that. But then he went on to say, by the way, it's anarchist, not anarchast. So, I've said it before that the non-critical thinking crowd, when they really don't have an argument against whatever it is I say on social media, they will often respond with, "You've misspelled anarchist." So, okay. So school the guy a little bit on the name Front Porch Anarchast. Anarchy plus podcast equals anarchast. And we ended up agreeing. Well, he went on to say that I went on to say that I believe that people should suffer the consequences of their actions, and if a peaceful person is the one pointing a gun if a non-peaceful person is pointing a gun at peaceful people, then he needs to suffer some consequences, assuming he's doing it out of malice or something. He needs to suffer some consequences. If the police are pointing guns at peaceful people, otherwise peaceful people, then they need to suffer some consequences. I asked the guy if he thought that was the truth. He said yes. So I can't figure out why he was even arguing with me, or why he wanted to try to why he wrongly pointed out the spelling of my podcast. It's kind of weird. Anyway, that is Richard's Road Rant. Thanks for bearing with me. I know there's a lot of road noise. If this is something you like, let me know. And maybe I'll keep doing it. Maybe not. Maybe from now on, all episodes of Front Porch Anarchast will be recorded as I'm going down the road in little blurbs, and they'll all just be me ranting about silly things that I found on Facebook. Let me know what you think.
We hope you enjoyed this broadcast of the Front Porch Anarchast. Like and share our page or send us a message at Front Porch Anarchast on Facebook.
Now can I do it? Anarchy needs no masters. Anarchy needs no masters.
Front Porch Anarchast.